Good morning. We're in Box Canyon and it's really windy out. There's our truck. I don't know if I can get to the river. I'm blanking on the river's name. It's not the Coquihalla. We are on the Coquihalla, and that's the Smasher up going that way. And I'm sure I'll remember in a little bit the name of this river, but I can't remember it right now. Maybe we can get to the river here. Yeah. Make sure I don't fall. Oh, it feels good, the cold air coming off the water. Little rapids, little waterfalls. As hot as it's been the last couple of days, and this is going to be a glacial cold water. Oh yeah, that is ice cold water. Probably be very good tasting water. It's freshly melted snow, crystal clear. Like crystal clear. You guys want to go for a swim? I guess we should get up the Smasher. There, I didn't wipe out. We're safe. Oh, let's show you the load. You guys never get to see this load because it's always tarped. But because of the hot weather and not a cloud in sight, this load's not tarped, just drywall. Lots and lots and lots of drywall. Max weight. We are definitely heavy. Heavy. The bottom here, I'm breaking the bottom panel just from the straps pulling on the side. This side seems to be okay. But yeah, interior ceiling. Lightweight gypsum, type X gypsum, a whole bunch of different versions. Loaded this in Delta at 12:30 today morning, afternoon today, yeah. All right, let's hammer down. Boston Bar Creek. Just came to me as I was going, wait, I remember the creek was named after another place. There's along the canyon, Trans-Canada Highway 1. this Boston bar. So it's something Boston. And it always confused me why this creek is called Boston Creek or Boston Bar Creek or something like that, when there's a Boston bar hundreds of miles away. We get our own lane here. Turn our four-way flashers on. It's surprising how many comments I get about my four-way flashers or just my signal light, because on the mirror cam you can see my signal light going. I get comments all the time. It's like, miles down the road and he still has a signal light on. If you guys see that, remind them, in British Columbia, a slow truck is legally required to put their four-way flashers on. So if you see that comment, remind them, hey, it's a legal requirement to have four-way flashers on. You're only seeing one side of the truck, both sides are going. Oh, there's my GPS. My GPS says Boston Bar Creek. I wasn't sure if it was Boston or just, yeah, Boston Bar Creek. The town of Boston Bar is far away from here. Here's the Smasher, the famous Great Bear Snowshed. We're doing 38 kilometers an hour. Bumps. That's new. Bumps inside the tunnel. I'm not reducing my speed, buddy. Sign says reduce speed, but I'm not gonna do that. We're down to 25 kilometers an hour. This is always a beautiful section climbing up. I always love the view you get from the rear facing cam over here. There's quite the bump there. I wonder why. 23 kilometers an hour. Steepest section of the climb coming right about here. Might be equal to the climb, or oh, let's not forget to give a little toot toot, a little echo. Almost forgot. Got to keep the Sasquatch at bay. There's a truck just crawling down. Must not have the strongest jake brakes. Super B coming down a little bit quicker than he was. Down to 17 kilometers an hour. That's what, 10 miles an hour? And if you're wondering what kind of horses we got a 500 horse Cummins. Torque is 1800, 18 speed. No more waterfalls, they're all dried up. Back up to 23 kilometers an hour. We're in 8th gear. Counting the low gears. My goal when climbing a hill this steep for this long is just try to stay out of the way. Broken down vehicles, or one broken down and the other person assisting. A lot of people overheat climbing this. The van is definitely changing their tire. This vehicle looks like they are just waiting for their vehicle to cool off. Good call. Pull over here and let everything cool off before climbing the rest of the way. The RV's doing the same thing, pulling over. Time to let the engine rest a bit and cool off. Good call. Load over here, must have had some kind of problems. Needed to bobtail up. Probably got reduced, probably had reduced power and had to climb up the hill bobtailing. Some big sheets of steel on that trailer. Yeah, so when the engine starts throwing codes and it derates the engine, it really reduces your power. Imagine me reduced in power. I'm down to 20 kilometers an hour. This is the other steep section right over here. I always think at the tunnel is a little bit steeper. But sometimes, depending on the shifting, maybe they're equal in steepness. So it looks like there's another car pulled over. Oh, and they're pulled over in the lane, which means They just kept driving until the engine overheated instead of pulling over. Almost made it to this pullout. I don't think they overheated their engine. I think they maybe overheated their transmission, or else they would have made it to the pullout. I don't see any boil over. The brake check coming down. I can't remember how to pronounce this brake check. Zopkios? It's not right, but I believe this mountain over here is called that name as well. There's more broken down cars ahead. This highway eats a lot of cars. Oversized load. Looks like it's the engine compartment of something huge. I don't know if that's a dump truck or a bulldozer or what, but huge rock mountain. Chain off area. But that's it for the climbing. We're at the top. Getting back up to speed. Remember when we go down Larson Hill, take my time going down. We are heavy, heavy, heavy. We were super heavy yesterday with the lumber, and then today we're super heavy with this drywall. have taken that little side lane to give you guys a better view. I just forgot. I'm allowed to forget. Thanks. Appreciate your grace and forgiveness. Brakes already. Maybe that's because of the RV and he can't move over. Little swampy ponds here and there. Always look for a moose in those. Every now and then I get lucky and see one. Hard climb to get up here. And then it's just trees and mountains. The summit is actually sort of anticlimactic. Here's dry canyon. There's these little rest areas up here on both sides of the road. If you're looking for a place to park for an hour or two or even overnight, don't stop at these. Go 2 kilometers down the road and stop at the big rest area. Going northbound or southbound. Southbound can be a little, just follow the signs. If you're going southbound, follow the signs. It's worth stopping there. This is where the toll booths used to be on the Coquihalla. Just this wide spread of lanes, and you had to pull in and stop and pay your toll. Here's the rest area. Britain Creek Rest Area. Lake down there. Coquihalla Lakes Lodge. So that must be Coquihalla Lake. Yeah, people always say the Coquihalla has no places to pull over and use the restrooms and stuff, but there's spots to pull over, man. Now, For those people that call the Coquihalla from Hope to Kamloops, between Merritt and Kamloops there's nothing. Not trucker friendly anyway. But that's also not the Coquihalla, that's just Highway 5, Yellowhead Highway 5. The actual Coquihalla is from Hope to Merritt. Coquihalla is a little busier today. I don't know if anyone noticed it. But Trans-Canada Highway 1 is closed by Hell's Gate. Due to a big rig and motorcycle accident. It sounded like a fatality. Can't imagine it not being, but it's going to be closed for a while, so all the traffic that would normally run on Trans-Canada Highway 1 is also running on the Coquihalla. Only 24 degrees Celsius up here. A little cooler. I'm so glad I didn't have to tarp this load. Chipper goes, "You ready to go?" I'm like, "Well, no, I have to tarp it first, right?" And he goes, "Oh, you don't have to." It's like, we're not enforcing tarping this week because, you know, the weather is perfect. There is no rain in the forecast. Like in that case, I'm not going to tarp. It's too hot to be tarping. I mean, it's nice and cool up here. I mean, 24 isn't cool, but compared to the hot temperatures on the bottom, I'll take these cooler temperatures. I did get him to put my tarps on top of my deck, or top of my load anyway, just in case it looks like it's going to rain tomorrow morning. I don't know how far I'll make it today, but not all the way to the customer. But if it looks like it's going to rain tomorrow, I will quickly tarp it then. Because as you can probably imagine, drywall in rain probably doesn't work very well. Kind of nice having the highway back to full 4 lanes all the way. All the flood damage is repaired. They're starting to repair the Othello tunnels now, and they've opened some of the tunnels, I think, to the public. It's like almost 3 years ago now, huh? Since the Great Flood. river are we following now? Okay. Gotta get this right. It's cold. It's cold something. Rebuilt bridges. The old bridge used to be on the right hand side, the one that got washed away. Coldstream's not right, is it? Someone's probably yelling at me. Is it just cold water? Coldstream's a town, right? Cold water? Hey, there's a green sign on this bridge. There was probably one on the last one. Cold Water River. Aha. There we go. Cold Water River. We got there. I do this every time, don't I? Now we're approaching Larson Hill. Gotta do a little steep climb and then a fairly steep descent. Nothing like the Coquihalla climb, the Smasher climb, but gotta go down and then back up. Still keep wanting to say Coldstream. Cold water. We'll cross the Cold Water River down at the bottom of Larson Hill. I mean, we're crossing a cold water river up here as well. Looks like the pipeline construction's finishing off as well. You don't see a lot of construction equipment anymore. This is kind of like running Highway 16, just trees and trees and trees and more trees. Actually, Highway 16 is more boring because you don't see the mountains either. It's just trees and trees and trees. There's parts of Highway 16 that are spectacular, but parts of it that are just mind-numbingly boring, especially in Alberta, east of Edmonton. Just sheer boredom. Here we go, Larson Hill. We'll climb up it and head down and we'll call it a day there. Both Africa twins. Some adventure riding. They're on the wrong highway. They probably intended to be on Highway 1. They probably had no intention of being on this. Half the speed limit. Speed limit's 120 kilometers an hour, which is 75 miles an hour. We're down to 50, which is 30 miles an hour. 45. Nothing like the Smasher. We were down to what, 16? Starting to gain some speed again. Coldwater River is way down there now. Hydro poles going southbound. Power line poles. Alright, let's grab a bunch of gears. Slow her down. That should do the trick. Maybe one more. See a thin little ribbon in the background? That's where we're going back up. Slowed it down to 50 kilometers an hour, so that's below half the speed limit. I'll let it slowly speed up, and then we'll upshift one gear at a time and let ourselves gain some speed. You can see all these trees got burnt here, I believe 2 years ago. Had a huge forest fire that just burnt everything. At this point, we would have a very, very hard time coming to a stop. Full speed ahead. Hit the speed limit at the bottom. Whee! And then we just start the climb again. Then we go back down, and then we go back up. And then we go back down, and then we go back up. Just keeps going. The water temperature went from 240 Fahrenheit down to 180 Fahrenheit going down that hill. Truck usually runs between 220 230 Fahrenheit on hard climbs. But since it's so hot out, she's running a little on the warmer side. Just on the hardest climbs. my flashers on, shouldn't I? Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was last time we shot the Coca-Cola, we started in Hope. I'm like, this time we'll start right on the Smasher and get to see more of the Coca-Cola past the summit. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to deliver this in Vernon. Tomorrow's video will be something coming southbound from Vernon. Having a little bit of problems with the truck. The clutch is slipping a bit. Kenworth thinks that it's a programming issue. They just have to retune the clutch. Adjust it on the computer to tune it again so we don't have any more clutch slippage. This happens every now and then. It's been like once a day now where it's doing a little wonky thing, so it's like, yeah, it's enough that we need to get it fixed, at least looked at. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am indeed out of here. I know everybody wants to see what's over the next mountain. I know I always do. Oh look, it's another mountain. You guys absolutely rock.